Need some suspension work and shocks and brakes, brake pads, lining, steering box, transmission, rear end.
Ka-chow.
Just don't see no cars! It works! I love this button!
Always remember, if you ain't first, you're last.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
All right, welcome back to the Unnamed Movie Car Podcast, recording at you live from several different communist countries. North Korea,
right? Well,
Cuba,
Iceland.
No, Iceland's cool. Iceland's chill.
Right. No, that's good. Right. Okay. Yeah.
We were talking about Die Another Day, James Bond, 007, 2002 film, starring Pierce Brosnan.
Yes, Pierce Brosnan.
Is that how you say it?
Brosnan.
Brosnan.
Yeah, exactly.
If you are new to the show, we wait the first 10 minutes before. I should start the timer. That would probably be helpful.
That's probably good. That's fine.
We wait the first 10 minutes to avoid spoilers in case you miraculously change your mind.
Yeah, which you won't.
And want to watch the film. So we're spoiler free for the first 10 minutes. We're also joined by Nick, our resident aircraft expert.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Nick, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, Zach. How are you?
Hey.
I am unwell. I am unwell.
Oh, wait, no, that's.
I have a Glock in my car. Here we go.
Okay.
So we're talking about James Bond today.
Okay.
The idea partially it's your birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
But also I brought a James Bond DVD back from Japan. So I did a recent trip to Japan, which we'll do a Japanese car movie at some point. There's several that I've been recommended. Kind of a planes, trains, and automobiles version, but in Japan.
Okay. All right.
But I went to a used store in Osaka, and brought back a James Bond film. It was not Die Another Day, but Die Another Day was on Netflix, so it was easily accessible for all of us to watch.
Yes.
So that's why we chose that movie.
And it has both cars and planes in it, which we thought would be fun for us to talk about.
I would say one of the more car-heavy Bond films.
Yeah, actually, I think it was. There was a lot of
Bond
There was a lot of car stuff in it.
Pierce also did which movie had the 750 IL BMW?
That was Tomorrow Never Dies.
They call it
very good.
They call it the LI in the movie, and then you look at the badge and it says IL. Everyone in the movie calls it a BMW LI, but it's a 750i L because it's the longer wheelbase.
Okay, all right.
So they made the 750i and also the 750i L.
Right.
And in the movie, they're like the LI, and I'm like, shut up.
Yeah. So
shut up.
Wow. So let's do shout outs. Jory and Bella the dog.
Bella the dog. Shout out to Paul Shin. Shout out to Craig Lieberman. We have a whole rap sheet.
You guys do the shout outs. So you're going, wait, what?
Yeah,
shout out Mailman Ron.
Right? Oh.
Shout out
May he rest in
Sushi
peace.
Plus.
Yeah.
Did he pass?
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
Ron passed.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
we
I'm
have a new
sorry.
mailman.
We have a new mailman. Yeah, he passed
actually
away.
passed
Zach
away?
is currently
Ron
finding out
passed-
live that our mailman has passed away.
Ron-
Our childhood mailman
Our
has passed away.
mailman,
Oh,
Ron,
no.
passed away. Very, very sad. He was like the coolest guy. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, he was
I didn't
great.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Dude loved a cigarette.
Yes.
Dude loved a Marlboro Red in the truck at 2 p.m.
And a bone and ribeye, I learned right
Oh,
before
really?
his passing.
He was a
wow.
man of taste. I'm sure
Yeah,
there's a
exactly.
whiskey worked in there as well.
Yes,
Of course.
Well, you know what? Our all future podcasts in memory of Ron the Mailman.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Man, I had no idea.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I moved out to the Hollywood Hills, and so I don't.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
don't come back all that often
And
to our $151 million studio.
It's funny you mentioned that because Jory and I were talking about the studio.
Oh yeah, our $151
$151
million studio, which with inflation these days,
Well,
this is our
it's
$200
pretty
million
close.
studio.
Okay, $200 million.
Yeah,
We're gonna say
I mean,
$200
with
million.
the inflation
okay.
of the materials in
Sounds
which
good.
it took to build this place.
Right. Exactly. Sounds good. I don't know.
That is
Somehow
so sad.
it makes
good to know.
No, it that is sad. Yeah, they had a, I don't want to bring it all down here, but
Hard start to the film.
Yeah, exactly.
So you are the James Bond aficionado of the family.
I guess, yes.
Where does you guess?
Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah.
I don't think Nick or I would be into it if you weren't into it.
Well,
You're the one who has 4 copies of the Ultimate James Bond.
that is
book.
true. We have to mention that in this.
You have duplicates of several of the DVDs.
Yeah,
one of which is, I hope, dubbed in Japanese.
Well, we're gonna see.
Yeah, we're gonna test it out. We'll put a clip at the very end if it's Japanese or not.
Exactly.
But I mean, I'm looking at the shelf of every single James Bond movie. Do you
Except
have everyone?
for one. I have to get the last one, which is
No
Time to Die.
Yeah.
I don't have No Time to Die.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I got
You've
No
seen
Time
it,
to
though,
Die.
right?
I have seen it.
No Time to buy
Got
a
No
Blu-ray.
Time to. Yeah,
No Time to Die.
That was the
starring-
working title. Was No Time to Go Buy a Blu-ray.
Right,
Yes.
exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
No, I have. You're right, though. Well, we have that Blu-ray. I have not gotten the movie yet, and I
Gotcha.
will because
Interesting.
that will be every single James Bond movie.
And funny enough, No Time to Die stars Freddie Mercury. I mean,
Oh, right.
Rami Malek. who plays
Oh,
Freddie
right,
Mercury,
right.
but,
Yeah, exactly.
There's
So.
never been like a James Bond spin-off.
Kinda,
Well,
Well, like
they-
there's no like The Adventures of Moneypenny. Or
no,
like,
but they were going to do one with the character Halle Berry plays in this movie called Jinx, and she plays a character called Jinx, and they really liked the way that she did it. She was kind of like the female James
I think
Bond.
she's one of the best Bond girls ever.
Oh,
yeah.
Definitely.
Because she actually has a storyline.
Right. Well, exactly. And she can also act. Well, I hate to say that, but that's the reality of it is she can act. So
It was the 60s. Come on.
but no, she had, the screen presence, and then didn't she play Catwoman or something? Or
Yeah, 3 years later, she played Catwoman.
Right.
Or 2 years later, I
Kind of
think,
wild
2004.
that the 60s Bond girls couldn't even have bank accounts.
They couldn't?
Women couldn't have bank accounts till the early 70s without like a male partner like signing off on it.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess I should know that.
No, you were what in I think it was like 1971 they changed the law or something like that. You were what, 5?
Well, I should have known at age 5. I really, I was up there in my financial understanding of
What?
I didn't know what.
The other guys where he's like, and at age 5 I audited my parents. Yeah. And let me tell you, there were some discrepancies.
Don't go quoting the other guys to me.
Right? Yeah, exactly. No, that's one of our favorites.
But there hasn't
The color
been
guys.
any like actual spin-offs. Like, okay, I kind of attribute James Bond similar to the Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Okay.
them follow the same formula.
Well, in this movie. Well, anyway, go ahead.
We'll get into that.
Talk about that.
Would you count, though, the video games as spin-offs?
They're
not.
Oh, that's a good
no.
question.
No?
No,
It's-
because that's a different medium.
all right.
You know,
Yeah, but like
there's
some
plenty of franchises that have video game counterparts too that I just
That's
wouldn't
true.
like. I wouldn't say like the Spider-Man video game is, is like a offshoot of the movies.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
well.
It's they're not. Well, some of them are based off the movies, and they're awful.
Yeah.
And some of them are completely different. Either they're their own movie, or in the case of Agent Under Fire, it was supposed to be an arcade cabinet, and then they just said, "Nah, we're gonna throw it on the GameCube."
Really?
Yeah, it was supposed to be an arcade.
Cayenne.
No. That's Everything or Nothing.
So when it comes to James Bond games, I would say Nick is the expert in those. So.
I remember them a decent amount. I would love to play some of the old ones. Which game had the grappling hook?
Which
Many
game
of them
didn't
did.
have the grappling hook. I mean,
So I think the one you're thinking of is Everything. Everything or Nothing was the one that played like a movie. It starred William Dafoe and
which is hilarious to me.
Yeah, because he was never an actual
right,
Bond villain.
Right.
But
Really?
yeah,
He was never
never
a
an
Bond
actual Bond
villain.
villain.
You met
It's-
him at the Milwaukee airport,
I
right?
did.
And
No,
he
it
was
was.
like 4'2"?
Wait, what?
Let's take that apart here. Let's pick that apart. Okay, it was not the Milwaukee airport. It was up in Milwaukee. He was at a convention. He was walking up to the hotel that I was staying in. He was walking up to the front desk. And yes, he was short, but I wouldn't say
4'2".
4'2".
all
I
right.
wouldn't say that, but
All right.
maybe 4'3".
Sure.
And did he look at you like the Green Goblin attempting to
It
steal
was-
your soul?
He is a scary dude.
I would imagine he's an intense human being.
He's not tall in stature, but man, he's kind of creepy. So I mean,
I just hear he's a very intense actor.
I'm sure he
Friend
is.
Of the
I'm
show.
sure.
Friend of the show. Willem Dafoe.
We also saw his stunt double on top of a train in downtown Chicago.
Yes,
once.
we did. Yeah, the filming of Spider-Man 2, I believe it was.
Yes.
Or was it Spider-Man or Spider-Man 2?
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man
with
2.
Doc
Yeah.
Ock.
Okay, gotcha.
Joey Diaz is in that movie.
Who is?
Joey Diaz, he's a comedian.
Oh.
He's a guy on the train that's like, he's just a big Italian guy, and he goes, "So what are you gonna do?" That's his whole line.
Okay.
But every time I watch, I'm like, Joey Diaz.
Hey, you want to do a shout out to the garbage people?
Are you garbage?
Yeah,
oh,
Are You
We
Garbage
just went to
people.
the Are You Garbage podcast.
You
Nick
guys
and I.
liked that. You guys had
It was
a good
great.
time.
We had a
great
wonderful podcast. It was really cool because we were the first ones in line.
That's awesome.
And they were running late, so like we were just like on our phones standing there, and then one of the guys just comes up and knuckles us. He's like, "Oh, thanks for coming." I was like, "What? Hey, you're the guy."
Yeah. Wow. Really?
It was really
that was
funny.
really
Yeah.
nice. That's
It's
very
really
cool. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we
that's
went to
very
go
fun.
see the
Good.
Are You Garbage guys in Chicago
Yeah.
at the Vic Theater.
Gotcha.
Fantastic show.
Yeah, you guys. I know it sounded like you guys had a really good time.
Yeah, got him to sign my shirt.
Yep. That's cool. That's very cool.
But yes, shout out to another podcast. An
Well,
equal playing field, a peer in our eyes, really.
That is correct.
As they're
yes.
dominating the comedy scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really fun. We did that recently.
Okay.
Oh, we are at 10.
Yeah. Okay. Wait a minute.
Spoilers will
Okay,
commence.
spoilers.
And it's time to talk
Now-
about the film.
Is that the Ecto 1?
Yeah,
is
it
the
is.
Ecto one,
Yeah,
yes.
that's the Ecto 1.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you're hearing the echo through our headphones because
That's
our
right.
$151 million studio
Only
only
has
has two
sets of
pairs of headphones. A slight oversight.
I was going to bring out my Fisher Price
The
headphones.
granite
but those
waterfalls
those are not-
and plasma screens that
we
came
got
out
a
of the
waterfall
floors.
in here.
Yeah.
We do have a waterfall.
I was actually thinking. I was actually quoting Malcolm Bricklin.
Oh, okay.
He imported Subaru originally back in the '60s. He started the Yugo.
Oh, right,
started the
right,
Bricklin
right, yeah.
SV1. As soon as he got any money,
Yeah.
like to invest in like a car company,
Yeah.
he was just like granite everything, helicopters,
you're
TVs
kidding.
on the wall,
Gotcha.
and everyone's like, "Hey, what happened to all that money?" And he's sitting in a giant like concrete palace in New
Yeah.
Jersey.
What are you
He's
gonna
like-
do?
he's like,
Take
"I
it
don't know."
away from me?
Right, yeah.
Like literally, he would build
Right.
these like monoliths and then be like, "Yeah, we don't have money for advertising for the Yugo."
Jeez. All right.
But yeah,
so-
in our endeavors of $151 million, we only bought two sets of
two
headphones.
headsets.
So Nick
And
is
what?
phoneless.
One is like a cheap gamer's headphone too.
That is
so it's
true.
not a
I
headset.
I was gonna say it's two completely off-brand head. Well, you have the
this
nice
one's
ones.
nice.
You
This
have
is
the nice
actually-
ones.
90% of what I hear is you guys talking. 10% is creaking plastic. So it's not great. Okay, to
I'll get
start
better
off
stuff.
the thoughts on the movie.
Yes, let's go.
I would like to put something out into the world that might.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Here we go. Go ahead.
James Bond movies are Hallmark movies for guys.
Ooh.
Interesting thought.
I thought this movie
Interesting.
was actually legitimately
Interesting.
terrible.
Wow.
I think it was an
that's-
awful movie.
Wow. Okay.
The only thing I enjoyed about it was the nostalgia
yeah.
of like
Okay.
because this came out in 2002, so I was 5 years old. You were 7.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I
that's
enjo- the theme song
Yeah.
was super nostalgic.
Well, you remember that from the truck.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, and on top of that, it is the most 2002
Yeah.
most
Yeah. Ever.
I have seen in a
Yeah.
very long time.
So I would say it is the most realistic. No, did I say most? Most unrealistic James Bond movie since Moonraker.
it was very Fast
Very-
and Furious.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say Moonraker is pretty much the most out there.
Yeah, it is.
Literally, it leaves Earth.
But not only that,
but-
like I could take
Exact-
the stunts, I could take the explosions, throwing people through plate glass
Yeah,
windows.
sure.
I could get that.
Sure.
The dialogue.
Oh,
was
it's
Yes,
awful.
that-
Oh,
yeah.
the pacing
Awful.
is awful.
Yeah.
The pacing is horrible on this movie.
Oh, Saved by the Bell. I wanted to put a Walter.
The one-liners.
Yeah, exactly. I want to put a Walther PPK in my mouth.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Which I
Yikes.
recently found out. I quoted in a video. I was driving an old MGB.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like, oh, I feel like there should be a Walter PPK in the glove box. And I got a really mean comment of like, it's Walther? And I'm like, hey, man, I
Walther,
got no
yeah,
idea.
okay, no,
I
I-
watched 3 James Bond movies.
Some people
Leave me
call it
alone.
Walter. Some call it Walther. But I
Whatever.
think it's probably a Walther.
I thought the
It
dialogue
is
was
actually
actually
Walther.
awful.
Is it Walther? Okay. All right. So now we all know
Yeah.
Walther PPK.
The dialogue was awful. The story made no sense.
I'm sorry. So it took my own brain,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
plot development, not anything else.
Yep.
It took my own brain to put together, oh, the DNA clinic is because they're scraping out Gustav Graves' DNA and replacing it into an Asian man. Okay. And that somehow makes him look like Gustav Graves.
But they didn't.
And not...
So the
guy, the soldier guy, he goes off the cliff. Bond is saved by the bell.
Okay, yeah.
They facially reconstruct him, right?
Yeah, right.
Well,
okay.
No, he survives the fall,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
and then goes to the clinic where then the other dude is caught by Bond. He's already been through the treatment.
Sure.
So the North Korean general or the
Zhao.
North Korean Zhao.
Zhao gets
But the North Korean commander goes off the edge in the hovercraft.
I remember that.
He's presumed dead.
Right.
In the time between when Bond is being tortured in the first part of the film,
Right.
which is integral into the
14
Bond,
minutes.
14 minutes,
Yeah.
and the Bond girl,
the whole thing, yeah.
intro,
Right.
During that time, whatever time elapsed, that's why they made Bond have like long hair and a beard, which probably would only take Pierce Brosnan, I don't know, maybe 6 months.
Yeah,
sure.
probably, yeah.
But somehow in that time, North Korean commander went to the island in Cuba, got the transplant from Gustav Graves, killed Gustav Graves, goes, sets up a diamond mine in Iceland to pass off his conflict diamonds, and then, on top of all of that, then gets Zhao to start doing it too, and that's where it picks up in Cuba. There's so much plot missing from this movie.
Yeah, because is Gustav Graves like supposedly a real person? That
Gustav Graves is supposed to be a real person, and at one point Zhao says that he killed him in Argentina. Or something along those lines. He says something about like I killed the guy and I took his face, and I'm like,
I thought it was like a face transplant.
I thought it was just a genetic thing.
I have a note in here that says if you were to get a face transplant, why would you choose a British guy?
Well, he's supposed to be Irish. On top of that,
and they modeled him after Richard Branson, by the way.
Okay.
Yes, the English guy.
The plane guy?
Yeah, the guy who started Virgin Airlines and stuff.
Sure.
Richard Branson, the billionaire, gazillionaire, whatever.
So none of that made sense.
No, none of it makes sense.
No, there's gaping plot holes in this movie.
I remember we used to watch James Bond movies all the time. I think I've seen every one of them at some point or another.
Yeah, you probably have.
would always just kind of throw them on for us.
Yeah, because I was a bad dad.
Well, you just didn't want to parent anymore.
I was tired of parenting.
I remember Sean Connery.
You would make us.
That's a real great choice.
He would make us Kraft mac and cheese, and he would go, "You two are my biggest regrets," and then he would put the movie on, and then I would hear a Dodge Ram peeling out in the driveway.
You remember all this?
I do.
Wow.
And then
it
would be hours or days or weeks, and you would come back eventually. And yeah,
I'm going to be the good son here and say for legal reasons this is entirely
and
a
he
bit.
would say, I'm sorry. You would apologize. You go, I'm sorry, I was on a hot streak in Vegas. And I'd be like, what? And then I was like, Dad, I have fourth grade tomorrow. And you're like, yeah.
Hey, listen, he has been on a hot streak in Vegas more than once in his life.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's true. Yes, exactly.
So it does track. So there is a little bit of truth.
There is truth to that.
How do you feel, the resident James Bond person, about this film?
So really, it truly is like the second craziest out there movie since Moonraker. Moonraker's just fun because it's like Star Wars with James Bond in it.
I've always thought it was like 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
Visually, it's very similar.
You're right. Visually, it's very similar.
And Moonraker. So I always judge a series, like there's the whole jump a shark thing.
Yes, right.
You know something's gone too far when they have an episode in space. Yeah. CSI Miami doing one-liners in space? Absolutely not.
Tom Cruise says that he actually wants to make a movie in space for real.
For real? He probably
that's
could do it. But
billionaire.
I know that's and he's got
Fast and Furious went to space with a Fiero.
Yeah, Fast and Furious went to space.
With a Fiero?
Yeah, they strapped rocket engines to a Fiero, and like I think it was like the 10th or 9th one.
Yeah.
We need to cover that movie because I've never
we
seen Fast X or whatever.
Oh, yeah, me either.
Is that the one with John Cena as Vin Diesel's brother? That's a real thing, by the way.
Seriously?
The way you're looking at me.
Yes, but I think he's good. because he's bad in the 9th one, and then as every Fast and Furious movie, whoever's the bad guy in the previous movie becomes the family, and it becomes family in the next one.
That's right. That's the whole trope. That's
at least as of like the 5th one on.
All right.
How did they get Helen Mirren in that?
Helen Mirren?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay, yeah, that just okay.
Yeah.
So now we're on a totally different movie.
A much later.
So
anyway,
okay,
but I always the way I always judge a series is they've run out of ideas when they go to space.
Yeah,
now,
right.
Moonraker was an Ian Fleming short story written during the actual space launch and the space race.
Yeah.
So it does. I give it not a pass because it's really over the top and very innuendo heavy, to say the least. But I think from that point on, Bond was no longer like just the gritty spy films.
Right.
This was we're in campy land now.
Yeah.
Right.
Where anything is possible. The laws of physics don't apply.
Yeah.
And when you hit people on jet ski or on snowmobiles, they fly upwards and backwards instead of forwards and down. So
that is true in this movie. Yes, and Die Another Day. So my feeling about that is, and I agree with Nick, it's just they just jumped the shark with Brosnan in this one. It's like it's its last one, and
I mean, even Goldeneye was out there.
Yeah.
And then Tomorrow Never Dies was like, okay, except for the stealth boat.
Yeah, the stealth boat.
The World Is Not Enough, I think, is the most grounded out of any of them. That's the one with the oil pipeline.
It probably is because it was just a bomb blowing up.
You
know what I mean?
It was just like there's a bomb in an oil pipeline.
Right.
And Bond's gotta save
so that was
not
pretty.
A death ray?
No, not a death ray.
Not a giant second sun.
Yeah,
that is somehow laser pointed.
Yeah.
So you fully accept the fact that they've jumped the shark?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. That's the whole fun.
I was worried coming here today that you're going to be like,
no,
this is true cinema. And I was really going to have to fight you on this.
No, honestly, it's one of my least favorite James Bond movies. It really is truly one of my least favorite. Just because of exactly what you're talking about. The acting is awful. Halle Berry is the only one who saves the entire movie. But the dialogue is awful. Yeah, it's just horrible.
But we watched the behind the scenes on how they did the dialogue.
Yeah,
these guys just went to separate.
Yes.
They went to separate cafes, drank a cappuccino, and then got absolutely, and I quote, pissed at the pubs.
Yes, that's what they said.
2 separate sets of dialogue, and then came back and moshed it together in 3 weeks.
That's exactly what happened. And Nick is not exaggerating. That's what they said happened.
Like it felt like it was just all one-liners knitted together.
Right. That's a good way to put it.
100%.
Which now, it's funny because nowadays movies get criticized for that because it's movies trying to get like the 30-second clip for TikTok.
Yep.
So it is like just a bunch of little one-liners kind of sewn together.
Right.
To like then chop up.
Right.
For
exactly.
TikTok.
Yeah.
But this was obviously 2002. TikTok wasn't even a thing.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it was
MySpace wasn't even
like you said. Yeah, but like you said, it was like one-liner after one-liner after one-liner, and it wasn't even like two people talking to each other doing one-liners. It was like they were doing one-liners to the outer space,
then the Korean general, or the North Korean general, served literally no other purpose than exposition to re-explain the same thing 3 separate times.
Right,
and then Madonna had her appearance just because that was her that was her agreement for doing the theme song.
Madonna,
yeah,
that they had that dance anyway from the birdcage.
But for Madonna's entire existence in the movie was just to explain Miranda Frost's character.
Exactly.
And then she disappears and never returns.
And so that whole thing was it was just, that's the thing that just doesn't, like, nothing really fit together. I mean, I love John Cleese, and it was great that he did, but even he was campy in it, and it was.
But that was the only part of the movie that I laughed because I was supposed to laugh.
Yeah, true.
I laughed at a lot of the rest, and I was laughing.
I know you were laughing.
I hurt last night watching this.
When he hits the guys on the snowmobiles and they fly like rag dolls.
Yeah.
They completely breaking every law of physics out there.
Right.
That made me laugh really hard. when the Gustav Graves character, who's actually the North Korean commander, turns around, and the way that they've done his Power Glove suit from the Matrix with his eyes as big as saucers because the lens is so huge on the glasses caught me off guard in a way that just tickled me so. And
that was so funny.
So funny.
Because it's like that typical trope of a person looking through a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
And then you see them and their face looks really weird because...
But he's like grimacing when he does it.
Right.
So you turn around and you just get eyes like this.
Really great for an audio-only format.
I know.
Really fantastic for an
I was doing an
audio-only
impression
format.
of what I saw on the screen. I know this is an audio podcast.
I'm just going to respond, wow, did you see that?
That was so incredibly
realistic.
accurate. So I do have notes.
Okay, good.
Usually while I watch the movies, I do...
You're much better than I am.
Make some
Go
notes.
Yeah.
First one is just North Korea ? Jump scare. The movie opens and it just goes, North Korea. And I was like, oh, wow, we're jumping in feet first.
Right.
Normally it's like, oh, the jungles of... It's like, no, it is
it's North Korea. And surfing.
Surfing in North Korea.
Big wave surfing off the coast of North Korea.
Yeah.
That's clearly Hawaiian waves.
Sorry, Hawaii.
Is it Hawaii that they...
It was Hawaii.
It was Jaws Beach in Hawaii,
Beach
off the
in Hawaii.
north coast of
Yeah.
Maui. We watched the behind the scenes.
We watched the behind the scenes. It's like, John, and I was like, that is hilarious.
And the guys that they have in the stunt suits, the most surfer bros
dudes.
you have ever...
Absolutely.
Literally necks as wide as their heads.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bleach blonde hair and puka shell necklaces, and they're just
Yeah.
like, y'all want to shred the gnar, bro.
It was gnarly dudes. It was like, yeah.
Oh, we hit the
That's
top of
funny.
the wave. They're like 50
we're
feet tall.
doing
And
the
we
tunnel and
smash the barrel. And
Whoop it! And I went, whoop it! There's a really famous online video of a guy getting interviewed. And
It was
they're like,
exactly
oh, how
like
are the
that.
waves? It was like some anchor lady. She's like, how are the waves out there? And he's like, oh, you drop in and you go, whoop it! And then another one, what you? The anchor lady's like, okay. It's from like 2005, maybe.
was probably
I'm pretty
the
sure
same
it
guys.
was one of those guys.
It was one of those
Probably.
guys. But like, yeah. Anyway, so
Next
yeah,
one,
okay.
I said best intro music. This to me, like the
Yeah.
nostalgia of this
Yeah.
intro music, because as we were talking about earlier before we
Yeah.
started recording, we had these little triangular
Yes.
MP3 players.
the triangle,
iRiver.
the iRiver MP3.
And I remember we had
Awesome.
like maybe 50 songs on it. And
Shout
one
out
of
to my
them was
brother,
this. Yeah,
George,
shout out
because he was the one who gave me my first MP3 player and said, "You're gonna love this."
And you must
Very
have then bought them for both.
I think I
'cause
did.
we
I did.
both
Yeah,
had one.
I think I did because they were inexpensive enough, because I wouldn't spend anything expensive on you.
Yeah,
I
sure.
would-
Yeah.
I wouldn't spend
On these
any
long
money.
escapades in Vegas that you'd leave us alone to watch James
Right,
Bond movies.
exactly. Well, you
Um,
got James Bond and macaroni and cheese. What did you want?
That is
so
true. It's better
anyway,
than most childhoods. I remember like I would find
Yeah,
it,
that
and
was very
then
cool.
the little tiny digital readout would
Yes.
say die another because and then it would like slowly scroll. It was like die another day dot MP3 whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like all underscores
Yeah.
between the words.
when you guys first heard that song, you thought it was broken because it goes.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And it's like just.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I want to double check this, but I
shout out to
think-
Madonna.
I guess
Friend of the show.
shout out to Madonna, friend of the show.
Right.
Also, shout out Moby.
Yeah,
They use
exactly.
him.
Yes, Moby. Yeah.
And I think he co-produced the song with Madonna
he could
in
have.
the beginning.
He could have.
Which I feel like I read that last night, but also by the time we went upstairs, it was late, and I feel like I was in a fever dream
11:30. Yeah.
after watching
Yeah.
a bunch of
Oh, the DVD has started playing
the DVD is
miraculously on its own.
own.
Yeah, we can stop
In
that.
a,
'Cause we were watching the behind the scenes, so anyway, that was just fun.
Just a photo of
Okay.
Fidel Castro's on
Yeah,
our
that's
screen
fine.
now.
Whatever.
My next
Yeah.
note: unsettling graphics.
Unsettling
The intros to all the James Bond movies are
Yeah.
so artistic and unsettling.
Oh yeah, always.
And
yeah.
this was like a weird liquid metal lady
Well,
type. It was
torture montage.
Fire.
It was a torture montage.
It was torture.
Yeah.
So it's fire and ice and scorpions.
Yes.
Yeah, it was so unsettling.
Yeah, it
I
was,
thought,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
as an adult, I'll be like, "Oh, this will be fine."
Yeah.
No, it's still awful.
It was one, and they even said that it's like one of the only James Bond movies that starts out with torture.
It's really creepy.
Yeah, it's not like he's being waterboarded.
He's being beaten and stung by
multiple times by scorpions
yeah.
as they administer the antidote to him while he's being stung.
Yeah, so
he just has to go through the agony of it.
Yeah, exactly. So
next up, I just wrote Cuban Ford, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. But that Ford he drove in Cuba is pretty sick.
Oh yeah.
Where he's like, I need something fast, and just cuts to like one of the slowest production cars.
They have like this Cuban music.
Another note, because I have experience with this now. Squeezing an IV bag does not hurt.
I told you.
Dad pointed this out.
I said that.
He's like, there's no way that happens, right? And I'm like, no.
The nurse one time was like, because our last episode was recorded live from the hospital bed.
It was true, live from a hospital.
Oh, yeah, by the way, to update the listeners, I didn't die. I guess the last, if you're only a fan of this show, the last time you would have heard me was like, beep, 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 I'm fully alive. But there's one time a nurse, there was a little bit of saline left, and she just kind of squeezed it a little bit to get it out, and then she replaced my IV. You get a little.
You were in severe pain, right?
No, you get a little cold because the cold fluid circulates through your system.
Okay, so
you go, like that. That is it. It's not a torture device to squeeze an IV bag.
And we talked about the fact that there's a drip mechanism in there, so that would stop any pressure. I mean, there's literally that is not something. No. That would cause you pain. You know what would cause you pain is ripping out that IV.
Yeah, you should have done that.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway,
also, the amount of times that Bond could have killed him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
If his goal was to get rid of that guy, there are so many times he could have done it.
Yeah.
And he just expositions his way into letting the bad guy get away.
That's another thing. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. So go ahead.
Next up, also dealing with Johnny Tran.
Yeah. Love him, though.
I laughed out loud when he said, "All units report now."
Yeah, that's a great...
Where? When? To who? For what? He just calls into the radio, "All units report now." I'm like, there's no information. If I was a soldier, I'd be like... report where? I would just over the walkie-talkie be like,
all clear on my side.
Like, that's all I would say. Like,
no, seriously.
Who am I reporting to?
Question mark, laugh out loud emoji or something like that. Like, I don't know what he's... I don't know what's going on. Right. No,
that was just like the sign of the poor dialogue to me, which was...
there was a lot of poor dialogue.
A lot of poor dialogue.
And it was very one-liney. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, that was it.
So no, it was...
yeah. I already said this one, but if you were to change your face, would you really choose a British guy? I guess Irish guy.
Man, I don't know.
I thought he swapped his face.
No,
because then he goes,
I think
"Father, don't you recognize me?"
Yeah, well,
that
was
would make
dumb.
even less sense if it wasn't at least his body.
But that made no sense no matter what, because he looks like a totally different person, and he's like, "Father, don't you recognize me? You have a British accent.
Yeah.
You were a
Oi, bruv.
Hello,
mate. Hello, don't you recognize me, Paul? Don't you? Hello.
Hello.
Last time you saw me, I was Korean.
Hello, Governor. Hello, Governor.
Now I'm British. I'm not good at accents, but that whole thing.
But
it sounds like the first guy quit halfway through the movie, and then they had to come up with
don't you recognize me? By the way, I just want to point out, I feel like getting a DNA swap also doesn't turn your voice British.
Yeah,
probably not. But
that I feel like you'd still have the same accent because that's a learned thing.
Exactly.
Not a.
Well, and then when he first quote unquote dies and James Bond Saved by the Bell, blah blah blah, whatever, and the hovercraft goes over, or the hover round, whatever you want to goes over the falls. Google hover round, by the way.
Yeah.
Goes over the falls.
Goes over the falls.
Goes. And his dad comes up and goes, "My son is dead." Like,
yeah.
What? But wait a minute. Like,
I imagine
one,
they cut out the 30 seconds before where he goes, "Line." Okay, my son is dead.
Well, the way
he's so uncertain. He's like, "Oh, my son is dead."
Yeah.
And then Bond just goes like, "Could have done the job way earlier." It's like,
right. Yeah.
Then why didn't
Let's
you?
not search for any wreckage. Let's not even look down into the
guess
waterfall.
He's dead.
Well, he wasn't even looking in the right direction.
Weren't they technically across the border at that point?
I don't know.
I think they were
maybe.
the thing that they crashed through has the South Korean
Oh,
flag on
okay.
it.
Okay, then fine.
So I think they've crossed the demilitarized zone.
Okay, so he couldn't go any farther. And
looked.
Of note, there's a line in the movie where he says the hovercrafts glide over the landmines. I just want to make a stern point here. I've been on a hovercraft once in my life, a real hovercraft like that. It is so loud and it shakes the ground around you so much because it is a Corvette LS1 motor powering that motor or powering that.
So
fan.
it would set off every.
It would set off
say,
every landmine.
Mythbusters tested it and they said it was plausible.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was the only
I'm
IMDb trivia that I had. That
I
was
am
even
shocked
vehicle
by that.
related. Besides the fact that Pierce Brosnan said this was his least favorite James Bond movie he ever appeared in.
Okay.
I guess I almost said Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters found it to be plausible.
Yes. Yes, the Ghostbusters.
The Ghostbusters.
Well, I have Ghostbusters written here for a second.
Okay.
Because my next
right.
note was
Yep.
the Moneypenny VR scene was just weird.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
It was
weird. And it reminded me, the reason I have Ghostbusters written here is it reminds me of the Ghostbusters scene where Dan Aykroyd is in
Aykroyd's
bed,
dreaming, yes.
and the ghost comes in and like makes love to him. And I'm like, no one remembers this. Everyone's like, oh, Ghostbusters is such a sweet, campy family movie.
Right.
And you're like,
there was
there's kind of a ghost sex scene.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
And that was
yeah.
that's what I thought of. I was like, there was no reason to put this into the film.
No, I think what they were trying to do was misdirect you that, Bond is back and he comes back into the room
it was
whatever,
funny
but,
because if you're unfamiliar with the scene, Bond walks in and he's like, "Oh, I'm so good to be back." Moneypenny steps up, they start making out, and then it zooms out to realize that Moneypenny was using the VR system,
right.
Which, by the way, did not exist in 2002, exists now.
Right.
Which is like kind of cool to see, like old tech that was like so futuristic.
Which is and
now it's like like every kid has an Oculus.
Yeah.
But I remember I saw the scene where Bond comes in, starts making out with Moneypenny, and I was like, at that point in the movie, I was like, yeah, sure, man,
whatever.
I guess. Like
I guess.
Bond is just kind of a jerk.
Well,
I mean, he's hooked up with 3 other women in this movie.
Yeah.
Well, and I said the Bond formula is pretty simple: big, strong guy does big action stunt and sleeps with women
and shoots people.
It shoots people and
I want to have ChatGPT run a James Bond script. Just be like, here's the place, here's the bad guy,
right,
and then fill in all the rest because I guarantee you could do it.
Because there's so much out there and it's so formulaic.
Yeah, every movie's
like,
so formulaic. Last note I
okay.
have here is that the ending scene where Halle Berry has the diamonds in her belly button.
Yes.
Disgusting.
Yes.
If I remember correctly, these are African war diamonds.
Yeah, these are
blood diamonds. Yeah,
these are blood diamonds.
Blood diamonds.
Gross.
Yeah.
Don't put those anywhere near you.
That's really,
so disgusting. Also, didn't you just pry them out of like a dead guy's hands?
Yeah, pretty much.
I would not be draping them over myself.
Yeah.
Just from like
well, and there were so many
sanitation.
Yeah,
moment.
there was
I'm sitting there. I'm going like, that is 2002, $1 trillion
that
worth
is like,
of diamonds.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like we're talking, every single one of those. Not only was it perfectly cut,
Yeah.
with Gustav Graves' laser signature on each of them.
Exactly.
That apparently some of them can see without the little
without the loop,
diamond thingy,
the little loop,
the loop.
Yeah.
But also on top of that, there's a literal that each one is like a 10-carat diamond, and there are crates upon crates of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So come on.
That's just disgusting.
Yeah.
Unless maybe off camera, Bond had a huge thing of hand sanitizer and was like dipping them in that. Otherwise, I'm not doing that. That is insane behavior.
Yeah,
that's the most unbelievable part of the film.
The whole movie
is that Halle Berry would put a diamond in her belly button that was gross.
Yeah, that is.
We will get on to the cars. So with that being
and the
said,
planes.
and the planes.
Yes.
With that being said,
yes.
There's an opening scene where they're in North Korea. First of all, he's got a lineup of sports cars in North Korea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why?
Right.
Why does he have?
Why did you bring the sports cars to the arms race?
5 supercars at your military base.
Right. Right.
What are we doing?
What's the point?
But I want to raise a question to both of you. Which car would you? So obviously the Jaguar XKR was in that scene.
Oh, was it?
I don't know if it was that one, but it was a green XKR.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if they implied that he like pimped this out while. Like in the 14 months, it's like, yo, dog, we heard you like killing.
We heard you like weapons, so we put a weapon inside your weapon so you could weapon while you weapon.
Thank you. He's Johnny Tran or whatever with the diamonds in his face. Like, yo, dog, we heard you got diamonds in your face.
We were wondering where he got. We were wondering where he got all the ammunition stuff on his car. Like, who built that car for him? It was Pimp My Ride.
It had to have been.
It had
in the 14 months. But there is an XKR in the background of one of the shots, and I was like, oh, is that the car? I don't know if it was or not. But there was 5 cars parked there.
Yeah.
There was a Ford GT40.
Yes, I
saw
it.
I think was actually a kit car in the movie.
and it's in the Gulf livery.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yes.
A Mercedes SL. A 1995 Porsche 911 Carrera 4.
Yeah, which might
Ferrari 360 Marina, and a Lamborghini Diablo.
Okay.
So what one would you take to escape? I think you would take the Diablo.
I probably would take the Diablo just because I'm a Lamborghini guy.
Sure.
So, yeah, whatever. I know, Nick.
The two of you, I think, should instantly know, because I'm a Porsche fanatic.
Yeah.
That I would take the Porsche, although it gets blown up instantly, and it makes me very sad.
I would take the Porsche as well. However,
would you?
For 2 reasons.
Would you? Okay. All right.
Air cooled.
Yep.
Nice.
So I'm not going to blow a radiator or nothing.
Okay.
Driving it through a minefield, if we remember.
Okay.
Also true.
That's very, very thoughtful of you.
And specifically, it was a Carrera 4. It's all-wheel drive. That Diablo's rear wheel. The Mercedes SL's rear wheel. The Ferrari 360 Marina's rear wheel. So this is the only all-wheel one. So I'm like, if I'm going to drive something through a battlefield, I got no radiator that's going to blow up, and I have all-wheel drive.
That's good. That was good thinking.
Although it was exploded immediately. And also, I wouldn't want to drive any of them through a battle ever at all. They have the ground clearance of a fly.
Right,
so,
yeah, that's true. That is true.
But yeah, I was like, as soon as the movie started, I'm like, why do you have... Why the sports cars on the battlefield?
I know.
Who's doing
it's
that?
because.
Oh, and don't worry, I'm just landing with probably, I don't know, $4.5 million worth of cut diamonds.
Right.
In my suitcase, which has a insert C4 here pocket underneath the diamonds.
There was a tray you just simply lift up to put the C4 in. I'm like, that was convenient.
Real
that
nice.
Yeah, exactly.
So we do have some other cars that I'll run through real quick and then we'll get to the plane.
Yeah.
Obviously, star cars, the 2002 Aston Martin Vanquish.
Yeah.
5.9 liter V12, 460 horsepower. Great looking car. I think
it's a great looking
perfect
car.
Bond car.
It is a great.
I think the best thing to ever happen to Aston Martin ever is James Bond.
Absolutely.
I do not think Aston Martin would even be a relevant company today, if even still in business, genuinely.
And did we see that car at either Peterson or any of the other museums we've been at?
MSI?
Yeah.
Probably. Oh, we definitely saw it at MSI.
Well,
they
had one of the stunt cars in Volo.
Right. Yes.
Museum of Science and Industry last year did or was that 2 years ago now?
Probably 2 years
I was
ago.
living here, so
so
in the
probably
studio.
2 years.
Definitely not my parents' basement. Did I break the fourth wall in an accident?
Yeah, you totally did. Anyway, yeah.
That had to have been 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was probably 2 years ago. And that's where we met Chris, who was the stunt coordinator.
Very cool experience. I wish we got more footage of that day or recorded something.
Yeah.
Something.
Very, very cool.
But yeah, I think they definitely had one of the Vanquish.
They did have one of the Vanquish.
I don't know if it was a stunt car or hero car.
There was one that was really beat up, remember?
Oh, that was from Casino Royale. That was the one that flipped
that's the
16 times or whatever.
That they broke the record for that.
Anyway, such an iconic car.
Yep.
I don't know.
But like you said,
Aston Martin these days is just it's so not great.
But I agree with you, though, that I don't think they would have anything if they didn't have the James Bond series.
No, and like 99% of Aston Martins are ordered in silver.
Are they?
Yeah, it's just they're not a very good company. And like I drove a 2018 Vantage.
Yeah,
it has all Mercedes parts in it.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's not even like really that.
Do they break
special.
down a lot?
No, not the newer ones are actually pretty good because they use Mercedes parts.
They're
buying engines and
Gotcha.
transmissions
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
They do have like tech problems with like the screens and stuff
Do
because
they?
Aston Martin does that part themselves.
Okay.
It's like
all
whatever
right.
Aston Martin touches sucks.
Wow.
And whatever
All
they
right,
don't,
yeah.
whatever they buy from Mercedes.
Good to
is
know.
usually
I'll
pretty
check.
good.
I'll put that on my list, and
Well, I told you guys I found a Vanquish
I know
V12
you
for
did.
sale for $60,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, that seems like a killer deal.
Yeah. Well,
I guess it's a 24-year-old V12, but
you think about it though. It's 1 year away from being an antique.
yeah.
And I
you
think
can
at the
throw
time it was a
antique
British
plates.
Leyland V12, so
Oh.
oil problem.
Oh, really? Okay.
The other
So-
car was the 2002 Jaguar XKR,
Yep,
4-liter supercharged V8, 370 horsepower.
Yep.
So 90 horsepower more for the Aston Martin. I'd consider that a relatively decent matchup.
Yeah.
It's not, a Fiat versus a Lamborghini or something
Right,
like that.
yeah.
They're on the same
Yeah.
somewhat page. I'm sure ICE was the great equalizer
Oh, yeah.
there, the
Yeah.
ICE race.
Yeah.
Don't have much experience with these Jaguar XKRs. I'm not a huge fan of Jaguar, but what I will say is that Ford owned all of them at the time.
Oh, they
So
did.
Ford owned Aston Martin. They owned
Wow.
Jaguar.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, it was for a short period of time. Ford bought up a lot of stuff throughout the 2000s.
Wow.
And then 2009, they shed it all.
Did they?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because that was what saved them from having to take a bailout during the
Yeah,
crash,
they-
because they sold off all the
They
other
also
okay.
they owned Volvo throughout the 2000s.
No way.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
owned
yeah.
Volvo. Wow.
So like the here we got Volvos with like turbocharged inline 5s.
Mhm.
Ford used that motor overseas in their Focus RSs.
Oh, okay.
A lot of parts sharing going on there.
Ford had a good chunk of Mazda at the time too, right?
Yeah. Well, Ford actually had a good chunk of Mazda from the mid 70s up until
Really?
2015. Yeah.
That's why the
Wow.
Mazda Tribute and the Ford Escape are the same car.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Totally didn't know that.
They didn't really start making product planning decisions till like the 2000s ish. So like the RX-7s and stuff like that, like those were all Mazda Japan.
Yeah, right.
The last car I had written down here was the 1957 Ford Fairlane 500 Skyliner.
Was that
the car he drives in
yeah.
Cuba?
That's a
That
Ford
was
Fairlane?
That was Ford Fairlane Skyliner, which
Okay.
was the first mass-produced hardtop convertible. So the whole trunk was basically the
Wow.
hardtop that would come up. We saw one at the Claremont collection.
Claremont? Okay.
Before we
Yeah.
before they sold that collection off, which I
Yeah.
would love to walk through that warehouse
I
now when it's
know.
empty.
That would be cool once it's empty.
But I thought that was kind of a cool, and also like it is sticking with Fords because every other car
Yeah.
in the movie is like a Ford derivative product.
Jinx's 2001
Oh,
Ford
yeah.
Thunderbird.
The Ford Thunderbird. That's
The
right.
revival
What
of
an
the Thunderbird. that
awful
was,
automobile.
yes.
Yes. And we
Truly
both laughed
tragic.
when we saw it, but it was, I think it was only put in there for advertising.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
That was so in the early 2000s. We went through a really weird period in cars where there was this big emphasis on basically boomer mobiles, but
Okay.
like old style new. So like there was
Okay.
the Ford Thunderbird that had the circle
Yeah.
window and stuff. That was that
Oh,
car.
right. Yeah, yeah.
We had the Plymouth Prowler, which
Yeah.
kind of looked like
yeah,
a 30s
that's
hot
right.
rod.
Yeah, yeah.
We later got the Chevy SSR, which was a convertible pickup, and
Yeah.
the pickup truck bed was carpeted.
It
Like
was?
it wasn't even like
Okay,
it wasn't
all
even
right.
like a bed that you could really use.
Wow.
The Chrysler PT Cruiser was very retro styled.
That's true.
The
yeah.
Chevy HHR was
Yeah.
also designed
Yeah.
by the same guy who did the PT Cruiser, but like retro 1930s panel van
Right.
styled.
Right.
And yeah, the Ford Thunderbird was one of those where now you see them at car shows with like 3,000 miles on them and lawn chairs in the back and a boomer board that
Yeah.
says, "Oh, it's the third one built on a Tuesday at this factory at this time," like trying to make the car
Yeah.
special and whatnot.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've driven two of them. I just don't care for them at all. They had Jaguar V8s in them, and
Yeah.
they were 4.9 liter V8s, something like that. It was like a weird. The Lincoln LS also had the same motor in it, but yeah. So a very forgettable car in the real world.
Yes.
When it popped up on screen, I was like, ugh.
From lived experience, I still think of it as a clown car.
I understand that
Yeah.
very much so.
They
yes.
only came in like clown colors. There was like bright red,
Right.
bright blue, yellow. Like there was no silver. I think
It's
they
like
get black.
yeah, like sky blue or like
Yeah,
a
it
baby
was-
blue or power
they're
blue.
always in some weird
canary
color.
yellow.
Yeah.
It was like pea green.
Yeah, they were really weird colors. There was actually very 50s colors. But
yeah, so Nick, tell us about the plane.
Yeah. So let's talk about. Yeah. You have a lot actually to talk about planes.
So I'll go through the planes here real quick.
Yeah.
As I'm the aviation nerd of the family.
Yep.
So as Bond is flying back to London, he's aboard a British Airways Boeing 747-436, which was the first class configured cabin for long haul range. Of note during that scene, something that we saw in the extras, the stewardess who hands Bond the martini, to which he comments, "Well, I'm glad I ordered it shaken because there's turbulence on the flight." That is Roger Moore's daughter.
Oh, I did see that in the IMDb.
Yes, Roger Moore's daughter.
Yeah.
It was so. I thought that was so cool. Yeah. I actually thought that was really, really cool.
There was another cameo in that scene. Do you remember it?
No.
Christian Bale gained 10,000 pounds to play the plane. Sorry, I had to get that one in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Actor of our generation.
Wow.
Okay. Caught me off guard with that one. Because I'm like, Christian Bale in the backgroend, was he like getting ready for Batman or something?
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
He was the 747.
He was, yeah.
It's crazy. Guy's got range.
It's 300,000 pounds he gained.
300.
Yeah. And then he lost it immediately to play Batman.
Right.
Okay. So initial opening scene. Sorry.
No, I thought it was a
initial
great
opening scene
thing.
is the MIL or MIL Mi-8T for transport. That is a Russian-built transport helicopter. The one that's used in the film is a British registered version.
Oh, was it?
That was painted specifically and chartered out for the movie in the North Korean military colors.
These weren't miniatures. There wasn't any miniatures in this movie, right?
There were miniatures,
some,
but not like
the planes.
No,
we at MSI we saw that one plane.
Yeah,
where it was a miniatures, maybe like 2 or 3 feet long. And one side of it was painted like the Mi-6 plane, and the other side was painted like the bad guy's plane.
And then
they
just which way it was flying.
And it depended. That's when they had about $12 in their budget to shoot a James Bond movie. Now they've got like 50 gazillion.
Well, they have $12 left over for dialogue, and then the other 12 trillion for the special effects.
Yeah, exactly.
Which so in that there was the MIL Mi-8, which is it's a very common communist country used military transport.
Okay, all right.
Would be used by the North Korean military even today.
Naturally.
That tracks.
We also had so then Bond flies back. He's on the 747, played by Christian Bale.
Little known fact. Uncredited Christian Bale.
Uncredited Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Let's see what else do we have in here. When Bond goes to Cuba.
Yeah.
That sounds like a Junie B. Jones novel. Bond goes to Cuba or something like that. Junie B. Jones runs for mayor, I remember, was one of those books.
Yes.
Bond goes to Cuba.
Yeah. There's Putt Putt Goes to the Moon.
Yes.
And Bond Goes to Cuba.
Yeah. I remember Putt Putt Goes to the Moon.
I recently searched that up the other day.
Did you?
Yeah. The game does not hold up well.
I have all the Putt-Putt games.
Do you?
A lot of racist undertones from them.
Is there?
No. It's a little purple car that plays putt-putt.
Yeah.
All right.
Weird rant that he goes on.
It's a really, though, you're carving weird things into the lawn during the lawn mini game.
Wow.
Okay. So in the Cuban escape scene, Zhao escapes in a McDonnell Douglas MD 900 helicopter.
Yeah.
These MD helicopters are kind of known as being very weird in the industry because they do not have a tail rotor.
Right.
They use a dual vertical stabilizer in the back. Some people claim that it's much more stable in the air that way. I think McDonnell Douglas just did it because they could.
Probably
to separate themselves from the rest of the market.
That's like Pierce used to put their headlights on the fenders of the cars.
They did?
Because they look like Model A's, but that was their distinguishing characteristic was they would put the headlights up on top of the fenders.
Okay.
Which then were so wobbly. So you'd be driving down the road and your headlights would just be like, like up and down. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was their distinguishing thing. For no other reason
hilarious.
than to just not look like other cars.
Yeah.
And then people would coach build Pierces and move the headlights back to next to the grill so they look like every other car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Bond gets back to London, and in the background we see the mini jet from
that's
from
right.
Octopussy.
Yes.
The BDB-5J, which is known in the industry as it still to this day holds the record for the lightest jet-powered aircraft in existence.
That's very
cool. It is
cool.
hanging in the back of Q's lab.
Yeah,
just
that's
hanging
right.
out on the ceiling.
That's right. And remember, too, this is the 20th movie. This is the 20th James Bond movie. So they made
How many
a
have there
lot
been?
of references.
25?
there. I don't know. There's 25, or was there?
Right, because Bond 25 was...
Might have been too late to die. Never die again. What's this?
Oops, all died.
Oops, he dies in this one.
Gold die, gold.
Died again.
Gold and diamond die.
Two died too
No, so
fast.
let's see. We had Casino Royale. We had Quantum of Solace.
Yeah.
Skyfall, Spectre, No Time to Die.
Yeah. So 5.
25. Yeah,
Yeah, so 25. Yeah.
Live and die Tokyo Drift.
Dude died too furious.
And then just die. And the next one is just live. And then to die to live.
Live, die, gold and diamonds.
And then just
Live and Let Die,
X.
the remake. And then,
So
Money Penny, a James Bond story.
004.
Right.
004 versus the guy from Dr. No that's not actually the bad guy.
yeah, that's true.
I will say, I think this is my favorite Q.
Yeah.
I mean, Desmond Llewellyn played a fantastic Q,
he did.
but John Cleese's Q, John Cleese just has that comedic timing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
that
definitely.
is and
much
and
better.
he's
The
written.
bad guy in Herbie?
What?
John
John
Cleese?
Cleese?
That's
I don't
John
think
Cleese
so.
the bad
No,
guy?
he wasn't the bad guy
Maybe
in Herbie.
not.
You mean Herbie Fully Loaded?
No, of course not.
Not the.
The original one.
The original
Where
one.
he drives
No.
that black and yellow Opel
No,
thing.
that guy's like
No.
a different actor.
Oh, okay.
Completely, yeah, so that's
Okay.
not John Cleese. I don't
It was
know
a
who
Jaguar,
is.
actually.
It was a Jaguar.
It was
yeah.
a E-Type.
It was a Jaguar.
It was a something special.
Yeah.
It was his character's name special. It was a whatever.
You're right.
We're
It
off
was
topic.
something special. Yes.
Zimmer special?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Could be.
Different movie.
When they go back to South Korea and
Yeah.
they're in the bunker looking at the DMZ,
Oh.
we have American Boeing Chinook HC-2s in the hangar.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
The otherwise known as the flying frog, because when it's open in the back, it looks like a frog smiling at you.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Once you see it, you'll never be able to unsee it.
Okay.
I implore the audience to look up a picture of it because it's very funny to me.
All right.
And then at the end of the movie, once the climactic scene happens, they have the MD-600N, another McDonnell Douglas helicopter, another no-tail rotor
Right.
helicopter that somehow miraculously has no auto rotation yet turns on right before hitting the ground and is somehow enough torque and downward air pressure to save them in an instant.
Somehow. And
I still believe that more than the diamonds on her belly.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
that is true.
well, it got pelted with so much debris.
So
much debris in the movie. It's like, and you hear it. You hear it bouncing off of the helicopter.
And I'm sitting here going, like, helicopter rotors are so balanced so perfectly, especially at this time.
I would bet, yeah.
When you have no tail rotor to do any kind of stabilizing support in the back, those rotors take any damage and you're done.
Right. Yeah.
And they fly through an entire shrapnel field.
Yeah.
In the way down.
So anyway,
you know,
So it's,
also filled with the diamonds.
Yes.
So
yes.
Again,
ton of
another
that
reason not to put them on your bare skin.
Yeah.
It's gross.
It is really nasty.
A helicopter crash, for God's sake.
Yeah. So the star because this is a fun one for me.
Yes.
The star of the film on top of the Aston Martin and the Jaguar is the Antonov 124-100 Ruslan. That is a very special aircraft to me because I have flown on one of those. It is the world's largest cargo airplane flying today.
How many of them exist?
Currently, about 20 of them exist.
I didn't know.
Yeah, so about 20 of them, I believe, still exist. It might be less than that now. But I think at the last time we took inventory, about 20 of them existed. I think only 9 of them were in civilian hands. The rest were in the hands of the Russian military.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, during the Russia-Ukraine conflict out there, those are no longer available to the public. And the Russian-owned cargo airline Volga, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the last name on that one.
Volga makes cars too.
Do they? Okay.
This is Volga. I'm gonna butcher this, but it's Volga Dnepr. It's
sure.
a Russian-owned cargo airline that used to have a branch here in the United States. So we used to see these planes pretty frequently in the United States. Those obviously are no longer allowed to fly here. There's one very famously sitting at the Toronto airport rotting away because it is not legal to fly anymore due to its Russian tail number.
Oh, wow.
So it cannot be re-registered at the moment. So it's just sitting at the Toronto Pearson Airport in Canada rotting away on the tarmac.
That's crazy.
Which is absolutely insane. But of the ones that are still charterable and available to the public, they are owned by Ukrainian state airline Antonov Design Bureau, the actual original creator. So it would be like if Boeing had their own airline or Airbus had their own airline. Antonov has 4, I believe, now in operation, 3 of which are dedicated missions to the motherland of Ukraine, and one of them, at any given point, it rotates which one, is available for charters.
Oh.
I was lucky enough in my life to have chartered 3 of them.
Wow.
One of them, most specially, was tail number UR 800007.
Yeah.
Which 007 and is the plane used in the movie.
Oh, that's really?
So cool. So I have been on that plane.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have flown on that plane to, where of all places?
Iceland. Yes,
oh,
that's
wow.
right. You flew to Iceland.
I took a trip. I was doing a humanitarian charter going overseas, and we had an overnight stay in Keflavik, Iceland.
Wow.
On that exact plane that was in the movie used in the footage.
That's wild. Wow. That is very wild, yeah.
So, while this movie was in fact terrible in most senses of a movie.
Right.
It was spot on accurate, though, from a scientific standpoint.
Sure. We'll get into that with the Antonov here in a second. It was very cool to see that bird on screen, knowing that I've seen it before.
Yeah.
Now, here's my bones to pick with.
Okay,
it.
Here we go.
I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here, and I apologize to the folks in advance. First of all, Bond and Jinx run up into the landing gear of that plane.
Uh-huh.
There is no connection point between the inside of that plane and the landing gear because the entire floor is diamond plate metal with no hatches or anything underneath it. Everything needs to be accessed from underneath the plane if there's service that needs to be done. I'm sure you could peel back the metal floor, but that wasn't good enough for a Bond movie. So that's part 1. Part 2 is they run right next to the running APU exhaust, which is, to this day, I think the loudest and most obnoxious thing I've ever experienced in my life. It is running during all of the onload and offload because it provides power to the 2 10-ton cranes that are inside the Antonov.
Okay.
So
it's like a generator, right?
Yeah.
The APUs
it's like a jet engine that's just used to generate power to the systems of the plane.
So for people that don't know what an APU is,
So they run next to the APU exhaust port. I also want to make note that while there were I didn't physically observe the danger sign that's next to the one in real life. I looked at the picture last night of the one that I was standing next to.
Yeah.
That jet exhaust comes out at about 400 degrees and about 90 miles an hour. So there is absolutely no way that they ran next to that port, sliding against it, and then jumped into the wheel well of that plane.
So you could cook a hot dog on there in 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, it comes out. I mean, it's hot enough to warm up the tarmac when you're sitting out there.
Okay,
at night. Yeah.
All right, I get you.
It is extremely hot. It is extremely loud.
Yeah.
I had to wear ear protection anywhere like within 100 yards of the plane.
Yeah.
Because of that APU exhaust.
Okay.
And everybody there does.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
You will also notice if you watch the movie that Gustav Graves has a lower observation deck.
Yes, the lower observation deck in the nose of the airplane, right? Okay.
In the nose of the aircraft.
Yeah. 2
things about that. One, the nose of that aircraft opens, so having a lower observation deck is completely pointless there. That lifts up, and a ramp comes out from inside that you can drive the semi-truck onto.
Right.
The whole point of that aircraft was the point of the 124 was to be able to move tanks and things across the wide, vast region of China, North Korea, and Russia.
Yeah.
Its older sister plane that was destroyed at the start of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, the Mira, was designed to build to move the space shuttle.
Oh, geez.
So it would have the fuel boosters on the inside, and the shuttle would ride on top. Very much like the shuttle carrier that we used to have that was based off the 747.
Right.
Now, this lower deck thing, whatever it is, cool that they did it in CGI graphics. Completely pointless and also a terrible place to put a bad guy's lair.
Right.
Because anything that from the bottom up, you shoot up at that plane, it's a giant glass window.
Right, yeah.
Terrible choice. They did pull that from another Russian plane that's used for very similar purposes. It's called the IL-76.
Okay.
That does have a lower observation deck that also used to be a gun bay.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that makes more sense.
That makes more sense. The images that they have of it flying and you can see like the glass dome underneath.
Yeah.
Not at all realistic. Yeah. Not at all something that you could do with that plane. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I think I saw strings. I actually saw strings hanging down.
There very well could have been. Now, all of the interior shots, I believe, are done either on a mock-up of a C-130, which is a much smaller plane, or a C-5 Galaxy.
Okay. Or in Spain.
Or in Spain.
Oh, yeah.
Could be
also
in Spain.
Not Cuba.
Right.
Yeah, they did not shoot in Cuba.
Well, we'll talk about
They also didn't shoot in North Korea. Just spoiler alert, that was a backlot in England.
Yes. And Hawaii.
and Hawaii. Because, North Korea having 50-foot swells off the coast is a very real thing.
That can happen. Technically accurate.
My second gripe about the aircraft.
Yeah.
Inside's not a real Antonov inside. You already chartered the plane. Just shoot some scenes on the inside of the plane.
Yeah.
Just in the cargo bay alone.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work like that. There's no you couldn't get the rail system that they have in there to launch everything out the back.
Right.
I'm sure they used an actual like military cargo plane like a C-130 or a C-5 Galaxy or something that the British military would have.
Laying around.
I'm not sure if the C-17 was in royal hands by then to do stuff like that. But anyway, not the interior of an Antonov 124 at all.
All right.
Third of all, the final scene, they go through the Icarus laser beam, and the plane is essentially destroyed to the point where it can't fly anymore.
Right.
They go up into the cockpit. I'm not even getting into the fact that that's not even remotely an Antonov cockpit, that's clearly just some computer screen thing that they put together. Right. But they don't go back up to the cockpit after the end.
Yeah.
Bond comes up 3 small stairs
to
a landing.
Makes sense.
And then opens a hatch to climb down into the cargo bay.
Exactly.
Now, they were already under the plane at the bottom of the plane. So if he opens the hatch and climbs through a 27-stair system into an Antonov belly, which they did shoot in an actual Antonov.
Yeah.
That was the only scene that I saw that they shot in an actual Antonov when they climbed down the ladder.
Oh, really? Yeah.
That's the same ladder that I took the picture that I Zack and
so that's real.
Yeah. They've seen pictures of the inside of the Antonov from when I chartered it. that with them climbing down the ladder,
Yeah.
and that big like soundproofed area and the behind them, that's a real Antonov.
Okay.
Everything else is either stage or like it is not even remotely close.
Yeah.
And if they had used that, they would be climbing out the bottom of the aircraft.
Well, I think though you have to say that autopilot was exactly dead on.
Oh.
That autopilot was that.
I can't even get started on it.
I don't think any film has portrayed autopilot in a
Right.
correct or proper usage
I don't
case.
think so.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie though. The movie Airplane was making fun of autopilot by making OTTO autopilot with the blow up guy.
Yeah.
It's about as close to real autopilot as you're gonna get.
Okay.
In a movie.
All right.
I've watched some pretty awful aviation movies lately.
Yeah.
One of which being what was the one with like Tartan Egerton?
Stealth.
No, that's also a terrible aviation movie.
Have you ever seen the movie Stealth?
No.
We should watch that sometime.
Is it a good bad
It's
movie?
like a AI plane like goes bad, right?
Oh.
Yeah, it's like it's supposed to be like
fine.
It's also like 2002 AI.
Oh, okay.
So it looks like a giant trackball, which Gustav Graves has on his arm.
Yes,
pad.
it's from a mouse from
Yeah.
like 2002. It's
Yeah.
like those like weird like
I know what you're talking about. It's like
height of cubicle culture. You would
Yeah.
see this
Yeah.
weird
the
mouse
red
with a
mouse,
ball.
the
The
giant
red
red
and
mouse
black-
ball
yeah,
on the
they're-
gray mouse.
Right.
Part
Yeah.
of me was like, oh, like I do kind of enjoy the fact that this is like OG prop making.
Yeah.
Where Star
Yeah.
Wars, it was like a flashlight painted black
Right.
with silver bits glued to it.
Right.
Like, part of me was like, oh, it's kind of fun, but also it's like, kind of also took me way out of the moment. Where I was like,
yeah.
oh, he just has a computer mouse stuck to his forearm.
I'm not exactly even sure what the purpose of making it into an arm.
Well,
Anyway,
I'll tell you the worst aviation movie I've seen recently, and maybe one that we take a look at, in a different scenario.
Cannonball Run.
No,
Because there is a plane in Cannonball Run.
that
too,
is
I think.
true.
And we used to have the theory, if there's a plane that lands on a road,
Yes.
it's a bad movie.
Yes, exactly. Yes, we
'Cause,
had that because there was a couple movies.
Redline had that.
Yeah.
That movie Redline.
But sorry, what movie you said was really bad?
So it
Redline, you're
I
right.
can't remember which one. It's like Tartan Egerton plays a TSA agent, and like Jason Bateman.
Oh,
is it-
Carry On.
Carry On. Carry On has a scene where the plane is landing, and the guy goes. The pilot says, "Okay, lower the landing gear," and the guy pulls the thrust completely back, like completely kills the engines of the airplane, and then turns off all of the safety mechanisms, and then they just cut to an outside view, and the landing gear starts coming down on the plane. And I went, "No,
I threw
Not
up
even-
during that movie.
Did
you really?"
Yeah, I swallowed part of a chicken bone.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
oh,
was like
that's
a little,
horrible.
It was a little chunk of something hard, and I felt it go down, and I made myself throw up.
Good. I'm
In
glad
the
you made
background,
glad you made yourself throw up. That's good.
One of the Bluths is trying to kill people.
Yeah, yeah."
Wow.
That whole movie's about him being like a terrorist.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
What's his name in real life?
Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
Jason Bateman was a
Yeah.
bad guy.
Yeah.
He's been playing a lot of bad guys lately.
Has he? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. So there we
He
go.
plays a funny bad
Friend
guy.
of the show.
But,
Okay, friend of frequent listener. Frequent listener.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably the worst, the most egregious one.
Yeah.
Is when he takes the plane out of, first of all, takes it out of takeoff thrust.
Yeah.
Clicks it multiple times through the different safety mechanisms so that you don't accidentally kill the engines on the plane. Kills the engines of the plane, and then turns off the safety mechanism again.
Yeah.
And then the landing gear comes down, and I'm like, no, why even? First of all,
I don't see
you're
a problem.
first of all,
Let's see.
first of all, you haven't touched the landing gear.
All right.
Second of all,
Yeah.
it's the Microsoft Flight Simulator Edition throttles that they put on some random box when they're filming it, because you can see the little toggle switch on the side where you can switch it between PC and Xbox.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And the Fisher Price logo is showing.
yeah.
So you know.
So that's probably the most
Okay.
egregious.
All right.
Second most egregious is this movie with the
Wow. Really?
Yeah,
Okay,
this is a pretty bad. Now, granted, I love the fact that the Antonov makes a great communist bad guy plane.
Yeah. Yeah.
In most situations outside of the Russia-Ukraine real-life conflict,
Yeah.
that plane is perfect for playing a bad guy.
Yeah.
It's Russian. Everything's in Cyrillic. Everything's painted this really weird teal green. on the inside.
And
but,
you know who plays the plane?
Oh no!
Yeah, it's not. Oh, I'm not gonna say it.
It's a Christoph Waltz.
Yes.
I carry the plane. Yes. I carry the cargo. You'd make a real convincing plane.
Yeah, he would. He probably would.
Yeah. You know who
And
actually played a plane? Dane Cook. In the movie Plane.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He was Dusty Crop Hopper.
Wow.
In Planes 1 and Planes 2 Firefighter Edition.
But as we learned, though, I mentioned this to Nick, as we learned, though, where did they land the plane or take off the plane because it takes, according
has to
to
be
a
the
movie,
runway that was in Fast and Furious 6.
Yeah.
Which was, it filmed in Spain.
Was it?
So, so maybe they filmed all of this in the same
Well, so here's the thing.
place.
Like, I in real life landed and took off in Antonov out of Iceland.
Yeah.
Not on an ice bed, on an actual runway in Keflavik, Iceland.
Yeah.
But, you know, that plane is a very heavy plane. When it takes off, it weighs more than 1 million pounds.
Well, you can't just land it anywhere. That's the thing that people don't realize.
You would have crashed through the ice bed.
Yeah.
Landing it where they landed it. And then on top of that,
there's diamonds.
One, there's diamonds. Two, I mean, it's pretty lightweight when they take off because it's really just the bad guy, a couple of cars, and some diamonds.
But it's still heavy.
The socioeconomic weight of the aircraft during the takeoff probably would have outweighed most things. But the actual physical weight probably would have been enough. I mean, that plane's designed to carry like 200 tons without even blinking.
Oh.
So it probably would have been able to get off the ground. Getting traction, though, having it steer in any kind of direction.
Yeah.
Not to mention if it landed at least slightly heavy. I think the gross weight of that plane is somewhere between 400 and 500,000 pounds. It would have gone through the ice.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
There's just no way.
That's what I was... and knowing, because you explained it to me, how long it took for the thing to take off in real life.
Oh, yeah.
But then, of course, which movie was it with the Fast and the Furious where they had...
6.
Was it 6?
It's Fast and Furious 6.
And it takes like 5 hours for them
to actually take off.
Someone did the math on it. It was like a 126-mile runway during that.
It's nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we talked about that once when we did our... I think we... Didn't we review that?
I think so. I think that's where we got up to 7, I think.
Did we get up to 7?
We did Fast and Furious February.
Yes.
A few years ago.
And then it just dropped off because it was...
I mean, it started to become torture at that point.
It was.
We need to... We'll complete our Fast and Furious...
Are you doing like a sensory thing there with moving the mic away?
Bit, this is fun. I feel like I'm actually doing something.
Yeah.
So we are getting towards the end. We're actually like well over time.
Yeah.
Would you change the channel if it were on?
You know, that's the funny thing. I wouldn't change the channel, but I wouldn't sit down and watch it. So because it's kind of like fun background. Okay, it's kind of like the Hallmark.
Thank you.
That's what I'm saying.
I genuinely think we would be able to make a rubric or sheet, or basically a Mad Lib style.
Yeah.
Of
a bingo
Bond
card.
is betrayed by blank. Blank is a higher up in the blank government.
Right.
And blank government has stolen blank and is planning to use blank to kill people. And then Bond will fly to 3 different countries.
The name of the femme fatale is blank.
Yeah. These movies sometimes feel like it was just like the crew was like, where do we want to go this year?
Right.
Well, watching the travel blog from the
Cuba seems nice this year. Let's go to Cuba.
So I would not change the channel, but I would not sit down and watch it. What would you do?
I would change the channel unless it was the car chase.
Okay.
The car chase in this movie is freaking fantastic.
It is. It is.
It is so cool to see the cars sliding around.
Yep.
Horsepower, guns. That was the only moment where I actually really locked in. I was like, "Oh, this is sweet."
It's cool.
And he drives backwards up the wall.
Yeah.
Blah. Also, the Jaguar has that giant knife that comes out of the front.
Yeah.
Where's the radiator, let alone the engine block? Like,
these are good questions.
These are good questions.
I was like, that's exactly where the radiator would be.
these are scientifically accurate. No, it's all
Didn't you see the radiator tip backwards with the front bumper?
Well, if this was the 964 that was parked there, it wouldn't need a radiator. It would have had an empty frunk, and they could have actually put a knife out the front.
True.
But gosh darn Ford has to shove their products into everything.
Okay. All right. So, Nick, we have to ask Nick now.
Yeah.
Would you change the channel?
So, like, if it was on the TV,
right.
would you change the channel? Would you sit down and watch it? Or like, would you lock in?
You've got that.
I feel like if it was any of the airplane scenes, obviously for me, or the ice race scene.
Yeah.
Just because I do love the ice scene, or I think the sword fight was it's a pretty fun sword fight.
Yeah, the sword fight was fun.
It's completely ridiculous how they get into the sword fight, but the sword fight itself is kind of a fun scene.
2 minutes in, he goes, "Let's just do it for real," and he was like, "Okay."
Yeah, I know.
Right.
With a stranger is wild, A.
Yeah.
And B, I hate at the end. He's like, "You've made me draw my own blood."
Or something
Kermit the
similar.
It seems you've made me bleed my own blood. Whoa. That was almost getting a little Pee Wee Hermione.
Whoa. I like you. Some of the worst impressions.
You can do a Pee Wee Herman.
The worst.
Some of the worst. It's like me doing Gilbert Gottfried.
And then, do you remember you did the impression on the podcast and then he died?
Yeah, I did.
He literally did an impression of Gilbert Gottfried on an episode, and I think he died before we could put the episode out.
Pretty soon after.
So it just seemed in such poor taste. Yeah.
Oh no.
I don't think that was a good idea.
That's not even a good Gilbert.
No, it's awful. It's awful. It just sounds like a guy with astigmatism.
Astigmatism?
Yeah. The eye thing where you can't see lights at night.
Why is it? How does
it just sounds like it. I don't know.
Astigmatism sound?
I don't know. It's like,
I can't say.
You know?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
We're devolving. No one try Arnold. I swear to God. Arnold.
Arnold the pig?
Schwarzenegger.
Arnold. Who else? What other Arnold do people impersonate? If I hear an Arnold or a Walken out of either of you, it's over.
Arnold Ziffer the pig on Green Acres. That's a dog.
We need to end this.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening. I don't know what movie we're going to do next. Maybe we'll do it next month. Maybe we'll do it in a year. Who knows? I'm Not Dead, which is great.
Oh, that's good.
This movie was not great, but we'll choose a better one next time.
We will.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.